Up is down, down is up, and people are whiplashing all over the place. But you know who has stayed consistent? That mean S.O.B. called Old Joe I don't know where I am Biden. I didn't say consistently was necessarily a positive term. Let me explain. Someone should call an ambulance because we're in a state of whiplash by what has been happening these past few weeks. And maybe that's why Joe Biden called Fox News' Peter Doocy a stupid son of a B. Things are getting upside down and all around, but old Joe Biden remains the same mean old man that he truly is.
Do you think inflation is a political liability?
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
That was a little bit of a doozy Biden just dropped on the hot mic when Peter asked if inflation was a political liability. But again, Joe provides us all consistency of emotion. Which brings us to today's question. What is the best emotion to describe Joe Biden? Let me know your feelings in the comments below. And if you could share the video to really let your emotions out and about, that'd be much appreciated. And if you're looking for the words, feel free to follow Scott Jennings' sentiment.
The mandate was simply replace Donald Trump and don't do anything drastic or stupid. And everything about this agenda is extremely drastic. And he's been angrier than I think people expected. He's been more divisive. He's been more partisan. You look at the issues. We built 5 years of coverage on Trump out of Russia, COVID, and democracy. The president at his press conference invites Russia to invade the Ukraine. We got more deaths under Biden than Trump. And now we have the president and vice president and leading Democrats question the legitimacy of the 2022 election. Are we any better off on these three issues that we crucified Trump over? I think he has a lot of political problems, and an AP poll came out this morning. Only 28% of Americans want the sitting president to run for re-election, and fewer than half of Democrats. This is a disaster.
Whoa, 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 Mr. Jennings. Be a little more positive.
Well, the president can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Now, if I had to guess what you are typing in the comments, Biden's consistency of emotion is most likely contempt, disdain, disgust, or a multitude of other adjectives at the ineptitude of the one some are calling President of the United States. But he thinks he's doing a great job. Just watch his face as his list of failures is read to him, and then listen closely to how he responds.
Inflation is up. Your signature domestic legislation is stalled in Congress. In a few hours from now, the Senate, an effort in the Senate to deal with voting rights and voting reform legislation is going to fail. COVID-19 is still taking the lives of 1,500 Americans every day. And the nation's divisions are just as raw as they were a year ago. Did you overpromise to the American public what you could achieve in your first year in office? And how do you plan to course correct going forward?
Why are you such an optimist? Look, I didn't overpromise, but I have probably outperformed what anybody thought would happen.
He's correct. I didn't think it would actually get as bad as it has because I'm an optimist. But that guy thinks Doocy is a stupid S.O.B. and that guy gets defensive when asked logical questions. At least Peter has a sense of humor about the president being petty and deflective.
So, Doocy, I think the president's right. You are a stupid S.O.B.
Yeah, nobody has fact-checked him yet and said it's not true.
No one's given Pinocchios for that one. No, but so you're now, I guess, everyone's talking about you. You're going to be known as the stupid S.O.B. guy. I mean, before you were like the hair guy with the blonde hair. Now you're stupid S.O.B. Is this something you're embracing, Peter?
Do I have a choice? The White House and the communications officials here had been signaling last week when they had their first year in office anniversary that they were going to take a different approach with reporters. And we thought that meant after he did the 2-hour press conference, oh, well, he's just going to be available for Q&A more often. But maybe it's more stuff like this.
Meanwhile, in response to Biden calling Doocy a stupid S.O.B., naturally, CNN's Jim Loves Himself Acosta made it all about him. Because, as I just said, he loves himself.
Don, you and I got called a lot worse back in the day. We never got an apology. I don't remember that from the commander-in-chief.
They can't let it go. Can't stop, won't stop. Trump hasn't been president for more than a year, but to them, it's Groundhog Day, and they need it to be because no one fawns over them anymore. Everyone is too busy watching the network where people can laugh at themselves. Doocy has a sense of humor. Acosta has no soul. And at the end of the press conference, even Biden alluded to how the news is construed.
Well, I shouldn't get into this. But the nature of the way things get covered, as in my observation over the years I've been involved in public life, changed. And it's changed because of everything from a thing called the internet. It's changed because of the way in which we have self-identified perspectives based on what channel you turn on, what network you look at, not network, what cable you look at. And it's never quite been like that. Anyway.
A thing called the internet. Forgive Joe, he's been around since dirt was first laid, so a thing called the internet is new to him. You must also remember that Biden's only ever been in government jobs, so for him to try to relate to a normal human being is quite the challenge. He must clutch to his precious, the binder. It's literally keeping him propped up while he struggles to make a coherent statement.
Look, maybe I'm kidding myself, but as time goes on, the voter who is just trying to figure out, as I said, how to take care of their family, put 3 squares on the table, stay safe, be able to pay their mortgage or their rent, etc., is becoming much more informed on the motives of some of the political players and some of the political parties.
Huh? What? When these types of responses are more often than not, even the couch-cuddling media has to turn, and signs are pointing toward a possible breakup.
President Biden's news conference on Wednesday was designed to kick off a second-year reset of his presidency. Recapture his political identity, if you will. But our new NBC News poll suggests Mr. Biden does need a reset because he's lost his identity a bit. He's no longer seen as competent and effective. He's no longer seen as a good commander-in-chief, or perhaps most damaging, as easygoing and likable. In fact, just 5% of adults say Mr. Biden has performed better than expected as president. One of the many lowest firsts and fewests in our poll.
No longer, or really never was, and yeah, of course it is one of the lowest firsts and fewest in a poll you conduct. But I am not complaining. I'm genuinely happy some people are pulling their heads out of their holes, if you will, and looking around at the rest of us who have had our eyes open this entire time. For those who need more visual explanation, let Chuck Todd explain.
I'm going to start with perhaps the most important number to understand the direction of the midterms. It's job approval here. The president's job approval rating sitting at 43%. If you look at history shows that kind of presidential approval rating leads to a shellacking for the party in power. How about the mood of the nation? Well, let me show you this. Right now, our wrong track, nation's on the wrong track number, sitting at 72%. Second poll in a row where we've been over 70%. This is only the third time in our poll's history over 30 years where we've had 2 tracks that were that off. That, again, would put you in shellacking territory for the party in power.
So what we're saying is, get ready for a shellacking. No one likes what the Biden administration is doing. No one. For once, we are united. Biden has fulfilled a promise.
From the kickoff of his campaign.
Yes, unity over division.
To the start of his presidency.
My whole soul is in this, bringing America together.
Joe Biden's cast himself as a voice of unity.
I'll work with Democrats and Republicans.
He's done it. He united us in saying what a failure this presidency has been 1 year in. We're only on the brink of World War III, and Biden is just telling Russia to go for it, kick the crap out of Ukraine. The world power that used to be the United States is laying out the red commie carpet for Russia to wipe your feet and the existence of freedom.
And so I think what you're going to see is that Russia will be held accountable if it invades. And it depends on what it does. It's one thing if it's a minor incursion and then we end up having a fight about what to do and not do, etc.
Come Come again? Circle back, please. Interestingly enough, Vladimir Putin was heard on a hot mic as well after Biden made his comments.
Such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me you can hear the chants from the crowd. Let's go, Brandon.
Hey now, if you are at home minding your own business and you are just sick and tired of what you keep seeing out of the federal government, well, just chillax.
My advice to everyone out there who's frustrated, sad, angry, pissed off, feel those emotions, go to a kickboxing class, have a margarita, do whatever you need to do this weekend, and then wake up on Monday morning, we got to keep fighting.
Kamalama Ding Dong prefers to inhale her frustrations away, but we can talk about that another time. But more importantly, I thought we weren't allowed to drink margaritas in the name of cultural appropriation and all. Very quickly, since we are on the note of those who sound like Karens, the, kickboxing and margarita drinking variety, I want to address the whiplash we are having. Because Starbucks is going to actually abide by the Supreme Court saying you don't have to take the jab. So stop the espresso and stop the jab. The Starbucks, who bows to all that is left, is going to make some logical sense. Maybe something about having the biggest contingent of possible Karens not getting their morning vanilla latte with soy milk after school drop-off had something to do with this business move. Just maybe. Because the bottom line is they still need the money to operate. Soy doesn't grow on trees. Meanwhile, Carhartt, which used to be a clothing company that provided quality outdoor gear for working individuals, but now is seen on millennials and Gen Z hipsters who want to be ironic or some shenanigans, their CEO, Mark Valade, is still mandating staff members to get the jab to work for the company, which is their prerogative. But when the working man's company requires the jab and the far left company is going to allow actual freedom, something is adrift. And it may be a sign of things to come. Time will tell. I'll keep taking note of this crazy upside down time we're living and let you know what is happening. Know that I don't think you are a stupid SOB, even if the President of the United States is using the phrase. Remember, we are giving 3 Fs this year: faith, family, and friends. So please share the video and give an F to those you love. Until next time, let's go Brandon and stay healthy, America.